I'm Victoria Holden, and to celebrate the 2017 Anime Awards, I've invited 4 of the most passionate people I know to discuss their favorites when it comes to the category of Best Girl. Originally, we were speaking about Anime of the Year, but Best Girl is kind of the second most important category, so we decided to discuss that as well. Here are my 4 friends talking about which girls they think deserves the crown.
Who is Best Girl? It is Serval. My name is Miles Thomas. We're here at the Anime Awards, and Serval is the best girl. Why is Serval the best girl, you may ask? The reason is so simple. She is the best friend you could ever want. She is energetic. She is always there for her friends. She is thoughtful, considerate, kind, compassionate. She overcomes all adversity. She knows what it means to be curious. If that's not a best girl, I don't know what a best girl is. Which you could argue, but you won't. Serval's best girl.
Moriko Morioka from Recovery of an MMO Junkie is the best girl, and I'll fight you if you disagree with me. Moriko starts the series with her life in a complete mess, in shambles, and she builds it up episode by episode, and I just fell in love with that arc of her character. She's the best, and if you disagree with me, we can meet outside.
My name is Elliot Trinidad, and my pick for Best Girl 2017 is Ako Kagari from Little Witch Academia. This show is the end-all, be-all underdog story, and Ako is just central to everything that happens in this. From the beginning, you just want to root for her all the way through all of her failures, and sometimes it's really pathetic, but it kind of just makes you want to be her friend even more. And along the way, Ako makes so many friends, and you learn so much more about her, have a greater appreciation for her and the world that she's in, all because she brightens it up so much. So, Ako Kagari reminds us all to never give up and chase the magic in our hearts.
Hi, I'm Reina Scully, and my vote for Best Girl goes to Chise Hattori. I believe Chise Hattori deserves the title of Best Girl because she is the most disenfranchised character, and she pretty much symbolizes hopelessness, and yet she still finds different ways to move on in her life, even in her new magical life. For me, a Best Girl embodies something you want to protect, but also you want to admire, and I do believe that Chise has both of those qualities. I also believe Chise is probably one of the most fearless and in her own way powerful characters, and I really enjoy that it's very subtle in her character build. Because of Chise's past, her quietness and her subtle demeanor actually may seem like she's quite meek, but it is in reality a fearlessness, and I think that is so powerful in a Best Girl.
So we've heard from Miles and Kayla why they've chosen their specific choices for Best Girl this year, and now I'm going to ask them some pointed questions so we can really get to know why they've made these decisions and see if they will live and die by them. So Kayla, you're first. I'm going to ask you a question. You'll have 30 seconds to answer, and Miles will have 30 seconds to rebut.
I'm ready to die.
Are you ready to die? Okay, so Kayla for Best Girl, what lesson did this character teach you?
Moriko taught me that no matter how low you get in your life, there's always a chance for you to come back. I have had some pretty terrible things happen in my life, and I always bounce back from it. And it's really amazing to see that sort of thing reflected in the media that we consume. Moriko just sort of serves to show that no matter what happens, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be able to make it.
3 more seconds.
Suck it.
Look at exactly 30 seconds.
That's good.
Okay, Miles, you have 30 seconds to reply to Kayla about this matter, and go.
Are we watching anime to learn a lesson, to become better people? No, I don't want my best girl to be a role model. I want my best girl to be the best girl from day one. Serval does that. Moriko, wonderful character, love her a lot. Really grew attached to the character, but best girl? Best girl? We're talking about like character arcs and meaningful. Serval is a best girl.
So we're gonna go ahead and ask Miles a question now. And honestly, this is a little unfair. It might be kind of tailored for you and for Serval, but I think that Kayla could have an interesting rebut when it comes to this. So Miles Thomas, what about your best girl already makes them a great friend? And go.
A best girl needs to be a best friend, and Serval is the best friend you will ever have. Kaban, yes, Victoria, Kaban is trying to figure out who she is, what her identity is, and Serval will go through water. She doesn't even like water, but she'll go through water for her friend. She will go to the edges of the earth, the literal edges of her earth, as she knows it, Japari Park, for her friend, just to figure out her identity. She'll fight lions and tigers and bears and whatever. She'll fight them all for her friend.
Perfect, Miles. Kayla, do you have something to say about that?
I have something to say.
And go.
So, Serval is dedicated, but does that make a good friend?
Yes.
I'm willing to argue that that's not all there is to friendship. There needs to be more depth to that. You can go to the ends of the earth for someone, but who's going to be there when you need to emotionally connect with someone? Not a damn cat! Cats don't know English! Serval knows English. That was a bad part of my argument, but I'm still willing to say that the depth needs to be there, and Moriko provides that depth.
I get to rebut the rebut, right?
You do for 10 seconds.
Rebuke.
But hang on, you get to rebuke the rebut for 10 seconds. Are you ready? Go.
Kimono Friends is the deepest shit I've ever watched.
5 more seconds. So stupid, I'm gonna pee. Do you have something to say in response to that, Kayla?
No.
No! Miles, I don't know how, but I think you won this round. I think you won, Kayla.
Friends is in the title, all right. He was set up for success.
You guys did great. You know, you got pretty heated there for a moment. Miles is a very passionate man. Go ahead and shake hands. You guys are both gonna exit stage right and left, and we're gonna go ahead and bring in 2 more people, and maybe you'll get to argue with one of them later. Don't take the chair, Miles.
Take the cup.
Take the cup, Miles. So I think it's fair to say that Miles won that round when it came to Serval, very passionate. So maybe we'll see him later, hopefully we don't. But to discuss their choices for Best Girl, we're gonna bring Elliot and Reina back to the table. Come on in. Come on in. Woo! WrestleMania! Yeah,
What?
give it up for your best girls, Reina and Elliot.
That's me.
All right, so we have heard their choices when it comes to Best Girl, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask them some pointed questions. So again, we can get to the heart of the cards when it comes to Best Girl. Get to the meaty meat. So I think because you guys both have characters that I think you would have compelling answers to for this question, I'm actually gonna give you guys both the same question. So you're gonna each have 30 seconds to answer it, and then the other person will have 30 seconds to rebut. So Elliot,
Yeah.
what is your best girl's greatest weakness, and how is she overcoming it?
Ooh. So Little Witch Academia as an entire series is about Akko's underdog story. Her weakness is essentially her kind of lack of just basic talent, of like innate talent in magic. And the entire series is about her trying to overcome that with just pure passion, with dedication, with not necessarily just skill, but like keep going at it. And her weakness is definitely what carries the series through and makes it so fun to watch Akko grow as a person and fail.
Bing bong. So Reina, you have 30 seconds to
Rebut?
rebut.
Rebut.
Elliot.
All right. I'll
And-
rebut Elliot.
3-0. but-
3-0, but damn it.
Recreators. Okay, and go.
Okay, although I do believe that Akko does have best girl qualities as an anime trope, I do think that her worst enemy is actually herself, which to me says that the story is almost too insular. It's about her journey and only her journey, as opposed to maybe her impact on other people or other people impacting her, although that is implied in the story. And I do feel that that takes away a little bit from the best girl concept as like a favorite female character, as opposed to just the trope.
You made it.
Wow, good job.
You made it.
Very sweaty again.
Very sweaty. Well, I'm glad you're nice and sweaty, because now we're gonna have you answer the question.
Okay.
What is Chisei's greatest weakness, and how is she overcoming it?
Okay.
And go.
Chisei's greatest weakness is not only just herself, but it's also her entire universe around her and her life. She was born in the most unfortunate of all circumstances, and from what we understand now, her mother didn't want her, or whatever, that's a part of her journey. And she lives in a world where nothing wants her, she doesn't belong anywhere, and it's a world where the world of, like, the real universe and the magical universe is merged. She doesn't belong either or anywhere, and therefore, I think if you want to talk about overcoming weaknesses, Chisei definitely has overcome more, and therefore she goes back.
Good job. You did great.
Thank you.
Elliot.
Damn, that's a good point.
And Elliot, it's time. Go.
Okay, so your argument being Chisei is fighting against the entire world alone almost, and kind of has to build herself up from that. Well, I would argue that Akko, because she relies on herself, because that weakness is kind of, she's her own worst enemy, it allows her and the series to really have her lean on a huge cast of characters. And we really get to learn a lot more about Akko, not just in the ways that she tries hard and tries harder and harder and better, but in the ways that she interacts with all of her friends and does her best to be a good friend.
She is a good friend. That does matter in the world of Best Girl. It really does matter.
It really does matter.
It's true. Oh no. Do I rebut again?
You can rebut.
Do you have a 10-second rebuttal? It's 10-second rebuttal time.
Oh, hold on.
10 seconds of butt.
Okay, I got this.
All right.
I got this.
10 seconds.
Yep.
And go.
So I think Akko is very formulaic as a best girl, especially because she has these long monologues and all this dialogue around her friends trying to bring them up, as opposed to say there's a lot that's said without words, and I feel like that's a lot more important to describe the relationship that she has that's more complicated.
I went over. I was just listening to you, so you had actually about 13 seconds.
I cheated anyway.
Okay,
So
fine,
I'll give you
we'll
13
yell.
seconds.
Okay.
What? Okay.
And go.
That, well, if she say it had any friends, then
If she say actually had friends,
it's okay, I'd be Chise's friend.
She might be. Yeah, I'd be Chise's friend too. Don't you want to protect her?
Yeah.
Isn't that what being best girl is?
All he said was,
Yeah.
It was you talking the
I know,
entire
I was
time
like,
of his rebuttal, which is extremely funny.
Whatever.
So have we come to like a standstill? Is Akko? Who won here?
Honestly, it's hard because without, say, Akko would 100% be my choice for best girl. I think Akko maybe deserves the title of best girl, but best female character, I have to go.
I think Chise is such a strong character,
Yes.
but like we haven't seen enough of her
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Her growth is definitely a slow crawl, and it's also very painful, so you kind of have to take that in stride for her development. But
This is why we need things like Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress.
Exactly.
And fan favorite.
Yeah.
And because a best girl isn't always necessarily the best character.
Exactly, and
just
also
who you like.
Totally, and like, what does it mean to be best girl? Like, do you have to feel moe about them? Do you want to protect them? Do you want to love them, or do you want to protect? Like,
Do you want to be them?
Yeah.
do you want to be them? Yeah, it's kind of like different as opposed to like most favorite powerful female character for me would have to go to Chise, without a doubt. That makes sense to me. But since best girl's the category, thinking Chise, still thinking Chise.
All right.
Akko though.
Batting for Akko.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll go ahead and have you guys both leave, and then I'll call 2 people up who I think would make for a good final round. So I've selected Miles and Reina to duke it out at the top for Best Girl. Reina is going to be defending her choice of Chise, while Miles is defending his choice of Serval. So I'm going to ask you guys each the same question. You each have 30 seconds to respond, and the other has 30 seconds to rebut. So starting with Miles. Miles, do you see parts of yourself in your Best Girl? Go.
Absolutely not. That's why she's the best girl. Here's the thing. I am watching Kimono Friend to have a good time. Anything that reminds me of myself will just drag me down the pits, into the pits of agony where I will never come back from. I want to go to Japari Park to feel alive, which I don't always feel in the real world. So Japari Park, Serval is my queen in Japari Park, which is where I want to be, completely away from Miles. Good timing.
The farthest point in the universe is Japari Park
For Miles.
for Miles. Nice. Awesome.
Okay.
Reina,
We're all friends.
I don't know how do I
a rebuttal for Miles.
how do I rebut that?
Well, you
Okay.
have 30 seconds
Okay.
starting.
Right.
Now.
Okay.
Don't you just want to be happy?
I do just want to be happy, so I completely agree with you, and I do think that your best girl should evoke that. However, I do also believe that best girls should have layers, and I do think that there needs to be more journeys for those layers to kind of amass and make sense and create the character as a whole. So I think that maybe Serval just being a positive, happy influence is perhaps not enough to be calling her best girl. Perhaps favorite girl, but maybe not best girl. I don't need more time.
You didn't have any more
Give me
time.
10 I get my 10 seconds, right?
You want 10 seconds? Okay,
Okay,
Miles.
give me
Miles,
10
Let
seconds.
me rebut her butt.
go ahead, go.
She has layers, she can literally take them off. She also has depth to her journey. She goes through more struggles than anyone else with a smile on her face the whole time. She never stops smiling. She never stops being positive because that's what I want.
Being that positive all the time has to be fake. Being that positive all the time has to be fake. That's why Chisei makes more sense.
It's not fake. It shows the layers. It shows onion like an onion.
Like a cake would have been nicer, you know, because it's sweet and cute.
Like an ogre.
Like.
Okay, Miles. I mean, okay, Reina.
Okay, me.
It's your turn to talk about any parts of yourself that you see in Chisei.
Okay.
And if that makes you relate to her or love her any more or less.
Okay.
And go.
Much like Miles and Serval, I don't see any of myself in Chisei, which is actually exactly why I think she evokes the sensation of best girl for me. She is not only the most disenfranchised because of her situation, but she gives up at one point and then she tries to live a different type of life, not knowing what that would serve because it can't be possibly as bad as her other life. So the fact that she still journeys on and treks through, even though she's kind of given up in some aspect, really tells me that she's not just best girl, she's powerful and worth looking up to.
I was listening to her again and it went over about a few
Damn
seconds.
it!
But Miles, a rebuttal, Miles.
I said it before and I'll say it again. A best character is not a best girl. She gives up. What a failure. A failure cannot be a best girl. Now she overcomes that failure, which is fantastic and inspiring and motivating and beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But is that what a best girl is all about, overcoming failure? No, a best girl is about the absence of failure. Serval always wins.
What do I do?
Miles knows what a best girl is.
That's true, that's true. Best girl, categorically, as a trope, I do understand. Kind of got that cheerleadery aspect from it, I get it. Okay.
Do you want your 10 seconds?
Layers.
Do you want your 10
With
seconds?
more layers. Okay.
Do you want them?
Oh, let me think for a second. Okay.
All right, 10 seconds, Reina, on the clock, and go.
I do believe that relatability is important in a best girl, and I think that somebody who's consistently always happy, that can overcome all their problems without any issues, is really unbelievable, and Chisei makes a little bit more sense, even though her tale is really painful.
And Serval has her issues and overcomes them too, but
What
she
are her
doesn't
issues? What are her
fail.
issues? Matted fur? Is matted fur her issue? I thought you said you could take it off.
Obviously, we are not going to come to a conclusion here, so we're gonna go
Best
ahead
friend,
and
best girl.
throw it to the audience. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below with who you think won this debate. Was it Miles? Was it Reina? Maybe you think it was Kayla or Elliot. If all of them are wrong, go ahead and let us know in the comment section below who you think best girl is, even if they are not one of the nominations, and let us know why.